All right, what's going on, everybody? As you can see by the title, we got to talk about Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone, kind of exactly expected, but also totally out of nowhere. Dr. Stone is what seems to be the highest rated anime of the year, at least up there. It's got like a 8.5 overall, depending on what sites you look at. And the last 4 episodes, not including today's, on IMDb, they all have like a 9 or a 9.5, which is insane. Is this last episode? Let's look. But the last 4 episodes have consistently the highest ratings of any Dr. Stone episode ever. If you look on IMDb specifically, for every season, there's like those special episodes that get a 9, but everything else is like an 8, an 8.5, a 7, a 6. Pretty typical, right? This is the only season where 4 episodes in a row, every episode got a 9. It's crazy. Yeah. Excuse me. 4 episodes in a row, the episodes have gotten a 9 for all those episodes. So let's pull up IMDb Dr. Stone season 4. Here we go. Episode list. Starting with, yep. So of part 2, right? So if we look at the first part of season 4, the highest episode rating was an 8.8. So we'll call that a 9 basically, but 8.8. For the most part, this first part of the season was not all over the place, but you know, it was whatever, right? And that's, as someone who's read the manga for years, as someone who's loved Dr. Stone for years, I kind of felt like the first half of the season was whatever. It was fine. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But if we look at, and so this is the other thing in the last week, because people made this report about, you know, Dr. Stone getting, you know, the highest rating it's ever gotten, excuse me. Last week, or this past weekend, you know, like Friday. No, so yeah, last week. Dr. Stone, these last 4 episodes, so 20, 21, 22, and 23, they only had like 400 reviews each episode. So if you look at season 4, episode 19, which is the one before this run of episodes, it's got 333 reviews, which is typical. Dr. Stone episodes generally have like 400 or 500 reviews, I think. Yeah, if you look at earlier in the season, it's like 500 average. So episode 20 has a 9.4 with 1.1 thousand views. Episode 21, Our Dr. Stone, 9.7, 2,000 reviews. Episode 22, 9.4, 1.2 thousand reviews. Last week's episode, Suika, right? Am I crazy? No, never mind. Last week's episode, 9.7, 855 reviews. So not only for the last month has Dr. Stone been, you know, the highest rated it's ever been and top rated among all of the anime out this year, it's also getting the most reviews Dr. Stone has ever gotten. So Dr. Stone did exactly what I thought it was going to do. And it did exactly what it does every season since season 3. Season 3 and then earlier last core, it always starts like nobody cares at the beginning of the season, but by the end of the season, Dr. Stone is like one of the most watched anime, at least on Crunchyroll. I can't speak to Netflix, right? And I knew this was going to happen because I've read this arc. I'm like, it's the best arc in all of Dr. Stone, objectively. If you say anything else, I'm going to disagree with you. And you have all the proof right here that Dr. Stone really deserves to be talked about with any of the best anime of all time. I mean, consistently 9.4, 9.7, 9.4, 9.7. So it's averaging like above a 9.5 every episode for what's probably going to be the last 5 episodes after today's episode. The season was so good, but we didn't get that much to talk about again because of the Demon Slayer movie. I mean, it is what it is. I'm very used to Dr. Stone not being the center of attention, but this is like the most vindicating moment of Dr. Stone history. Dr. Stone's best arc getting the most reviews and the highest top ratings ever. I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a Dr. Stone fan. It's crazy. I'm so sad that part 2 ended today. Isn't there? Am I crazy? Is there not one more episode? Isn't there an episode next week? Dr. Stone Season 4 Core 2. Core 3 to premiere in 2026. Wrapped up. Okay, no. So today was the last episode. All right. Fair. It's good that we know when it's coming, right? It's not like Dawn to Dawn where the second core ended and it's like, okay, you know, when are you guys coming back? Like, we know pretty much exactly when Dr. Stone is coming back. We got Gamer Chan Leanne. What's going on, Leanne? We got Luke. How you doing, Luke? We got Zachary. Ahohite. Ahohite wants to know spoilers. Yeah, unfortunately, if you're not caught up on the Dr. Stone anime, we won't talk about the next core. We won't talk about the ending of Dr. Stone. We'll keep it to anyone who's caught up on the anime. And even then, I'll try and keep spoilers to a minimum. So I would ask everyone else in the chat as well, be considerate of people who might not have watched the last, 4 episodes. Dawn to Dawn should get anime of the year. It won't. Respectfully. Do I have thoughts on Vomola's design? I'm assuming you're talking about the anime. If you are upset that they covered up Vomola's thighs and shoulders, I think you need to touch some grass, respectfully. Like, yeah, it's a little different from the manga design, but it's fundamentally the same. After the second banger season of Dawn to Dawn, I want to start making theory videos. That's awesome. I think that's great. When I would edit my videos, I used DaVinci Resolve. I would have to ask my editors what they use. If they hop in chat, we'll ask them. But I know they use... Some people use Sony Vegas. I don't know how productive that is. But yeah, I think some people use Adobe. This was the best season of Dr. Stone, hands down. I have thoughts about that because I am conflicted about this season, but we'll talk about it. Ega Studios says, was waiting for you to talk about Dr. Stone. It's been a very hard season for me, which is, it's only going to get worse next season when there's going to be like a dozen different shows to talk about all at the same time. That was the problem, was I was so preoccupied with Dawn to Dawn stuff. There wasn't a ton of room for Dr. Stone. Admittedly, I could have made more room for it in streams, but Dawn to Dawn was just more pressing. And I also, I kind of wasn't watching Dr. Stone, so I didn't want to like talk about Dr. Stone, or alternatively like force myself to watch Dr. Stone. Like last night and then before stream, I caught up with the last like 12 episodes for 13 episodes, whatever. And I'm glad I did it that way. And we're going to talk about that because the pacing for these episodes was so-so. What am I going to do at Thursdays from now on? Well, you say that, but this fall season is going to be an interesting one. There are some people who have been raging about the Dawn to Dawn cover-up OG. I mean, let me put it this way. When you have the same anime opinion as Chibi Reviews, I think you need to seriously consider whether that opinion is worth dying on a hill for. That's what I have to say about that. It's okay if it like annoys you, but if you're gonna, you know, march to the internet and talk about how, you know, they're censoring anime, it's like, why don't we chill out? Let's think about what we're saying. Kaiju number 8 deserves anime of the year. I hope people are enjoying Kaiju number 8. I don't have any disrespect for Kaiju number 8. It's just not for me. They said 2026 Dr. Stone. Yeah, it'll probably, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be spring. It'll probably be spring 2026, although there's a decent chance they might do summer as well. But probably spring, if I was guessing. I like the anime version more personally. For Dr. Stone, so let me catch up the chat and then I'll share my thoughts on this season, because I feel like I have some thoughts. That's how I'm gonna start this. I'm not gonna read some of these comments because they get into spoilers. So I'll do like a big spoiler warning before I start talking about the season. Plans for a 40k subscriber milestone, maybe Dawn to Dawn popularity poll. I probably won't do one for 40. I'll definitely do one for 50, because 50, that's a big one for sure. I don't know what we'll do for 50. I'd like to hit 50 by the end of the year, but we'll see. That's going to be that's not going to be a reach, but I'm definitely going to have to work hard for that one for sure. Excuse me. Oh, you're talking about Vamola. Okay. Yeah, I don't really feel any particular way between the anime designs and the, obviously I prefer the manga, but I don't disrespect, or I don't care enough about the anime designs, I guess. All right, so let's talk about this season. So first of all, the opening is mid. It's mid. I would probably say it's I would probably say it's the most mid Dr. Stone opening out of all of them. I would say it's at the bottom of the list behind, I don't know. I would have to, maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe if everyone reminds me on Monday, everyone remind me Monday, OG, do a Dr. Stone stream on Thursday. We'll do a Dr. Stone OP and ED ranking. We've done it before, but it's worth revisiting. But yeah, no, I think this opening is insanely mid. They got Boone to sing it, and it's like their worst song I think they've ever done for an opening. It's not bad, but like it's just bland. Like it's got no vibe to it. I think the one they did for Core 1 is drastically better. I think the song is okay, but the visuals, they like matched the theme of the Core 1 opening with like all the saturated colors and like everyone kind of getting like a, you know, like a shot, right? But it didn't really do anything for me. It was a very generic opening. So it's not bad, but I think it's gonna go down as the most mid Dr. Stone opening out of all of them. The ED is not my favorite, but I like it better than the opening. The ED, I kind of wish they had done more with the ED, especially considering how good the last 2 or 3 endings were. Dr. Stone in general has very good endings, and they usually like lean into some kind of like stylized artistic angle. And this one was like, it was good. It highlighted a really cool moment. It seemed kind of random to me, but I liked it. So let me talk about what I don't like, and then we'll segue into what I do like. What I didn't like was the pacing, which I won't discredit TMS for. I think that's just the underlying problem of the manga. Dr. Stone fans know the manga. This is already an issue with the manga. I just think watching it animated, it felt way more prevalent watching it animated, especially binging it. I'm actually so glad I binged it. I feel like this season would have sucked to watch weekly unless you like love Dr. Stone and unless you're watching it for the first time. But even then, I feel like the pacing for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish episodes was trash. It's like everything that people don't like new Dr. Stone for summarized in 5 episodes. It moves insanely fast. They get a ton of inventions. They get like 2 brand new characters, technically 3, at least 3 brand new characters. And to be fair, they are supposed to be moving fast, so it makes sense. But like, I finished this season thinking to myself, I kind of wish I had just started this after the first core, because jumping into the middle of the season here at this point, I feel like this is a terrible starting point. Granted, they make a nice segue between core 1 and core 2, but I feel like you would have a much better viewing experience if you just binged cores 1 and 2 back to back. Then I feel like the pacing issue would go away. But I feel like the pacing felt like really weird for the first 5 episodes. And then once they get to the fight at Arasha, it's a lot better. I disagree that OP was a banger. That's why I said I'm probably in the minority. I think it's fine. I just think the one before this was way better, and I think Dr. Stone openings are way better. What's the hotter story right now? Ichi the Witch or Kagurabachi? I would probably say Kagurabachi, but they're both really good. I like Ichi the Witch more. Ironic we talk about Dr. Stone when a new chapter of Martial King drops. Well, they both come out on Thursdays, and that's been the case for a year now when they started the first core. This was actually my favorite ED. I liked the ED, and I liked the direction they went with it. I just wish it had been a little more creative. I thought it was kind of bland artistically, but I like what they did with it. I like how they briefly changed to the ending visuals to Suika for her dedicated episode. Did they? I think I missed that. And I just watched all the episodes today, so I'm gonna have to go back. I think I missed that. The pacing didn't bother me. I didn't notice anything wrong. To me, at least, it felt off. But again, I feel like that particular issue goes away if you binge this season, just episode 1 to the very end. I've never seen Dr. Stone. Is it good? It's probably my number 2 favorite anime and manga of all time after One Piece. And even then, when I finally sit down and do the Shonen OG top 100 anime and manga, there's a good chance I might sit down and decide I like it more than One Piece. There's a solid chance that might happen. It's a hard comparison, but it's if anybody was going to argue that case, I'm the man. No, I never played Sly Cooper. Haven't watched Dr. Stone yet. Would you recommend it? Yes, I recommend reading the manga first and then watching the anime. You can definitely watch the anime and then just do that, but they add a bunch of cool stuff in the anime that you only truly appreciate if you've read the manga first. No Dandadan at number 1. Dandadan is probably... Dandadan is in my top 10. I would say it's somewhere close to 5 because my top 5 favorite series in no order: One Piece, Dr. Stone, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, Gintama. So yeah, that number 5 spot. I'd say number 5 is between Dandadan and Golden Kamuy because I love Golden Kamuy. Take any Sly Cooper rumor with a massive grain of salt. That's like the Kagurabachi anime rumors. Take that with the hill of salt, with the mountain of salt, with the archipelago of salt, with a continent of salt. My only complaint about this season is some very small animation details, like sometimes the blood didn't get petrified and then some small inconsistencies, but that's just me being autistic. I agree, there were some animation issues for sure. Without spoiling, how good can we expect the rest of the Dr. Stone story since we have 1 core left? So for people who haven't read the ending and are anime only and want to know how good the next core is going to be, it's good. I think it's definitely a divisive ending, but it's better. It's a lot better than most anime endings. I'll put it this way. I like Dr. Stone's ending more than My Hero Academia's ending. I like it more than Jujutsu Kaisen's ending. I like it more than Tokyo Revenger's ending. So it's good, but it's got some flaws. So my proposal for anyone who loves Dr. Stone, is anime only, and doesn't know how to go into the core because maybe you've heard some things about Dr. Stone's ending, just don't read into reviews. Don't ask your friends what they think of it. You know, don't build all these expectations. Just watch it to see Dr. Stone end. That's all I'm going to say. Love it for the ending to a great story. That's all I'm going to say. Danadon is my number 4 anime and my number 1 manga. Fair. So another thing I didn't like, somebody touched on it already, but the animation for this season. So the animation was okay. I think they went all in on the second half of this core. The first half of this core, the animation is very boring. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. In fact, I would even argue it's the most consistent season. I would say it's the most consistent core since, like, I don't know, maybe some of the stuff from season 2. Dr. Stone traditionally, or typically, is like weirdly inconsistent because you'll get some like really well animated scene that's just like Senku, you know, harvesting wheat. And then there'll be another scene where, you know, he's like he's melting gold, and it looks like a freshman in art school animated it. So it's very inconsistent. But overall, and I think this was true for Core 1 as well, but even more so than the first Core. See, this Core and Season 4 overall have been very consistent. That being said, this Core's animation, at least for the first half, was very boring. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't particularly good either. That being said, it gets a lot better at the end of the fight. And the other thing, on the same note, I actually wasn't crazy about how they adapted the fight against Zeno's army. I thought it was very underwhelming. I think it's passable, but I think it's way better in the manga. I think part of it was the sound design. I don't really think they like captured the intensity of people being shot. I also think it was the overall direction, like just the way they angled shots when characters were getting shot. It felt not nonchalant, but it almost felt too casual. Part of the problem of me talking about this is I've read this arc like 5 times. So by the time I got to it now, like the shock value is, I'm desensitized to it, so I am biased in that degree. The fact that people rated these episodes so high leads me to believe that this is only a problem for someone who has made, you know, like 30 Dr. Stone videos, and has read the manga like 6 times. That being said, that's how I felt about it. Overall, I thought, again, it was passable, but compared to some other anime where characters get shot, like for me, the best example of people getting shot in it really shocking you is that one episode in Hunter x Hunter where that one chimera ant has a gun and he shoots that one hunter. I remember watching that and I was like, oh shit, like it came out of nowhere. And I should have felt that way at least a little bit about this arc. And I hope people who saw this for the first time felt that way. But for me, I was like, eh. Part of it was like the way they animated the blood. It felt like, I don't know, like watered down, I guess. I don't know. Overall, the animation was very passable. I think the animation really shines when you get to the stuff with Suika. It felt like they went all in on the stuff with Suika. The stuff with Tsukasa, Kohaku, and Hyoga, I feel was the best part of the fight. The animation was the best then in that moment, and then everything else was like, it was passable. I've read the manga like 6 times too, and I kind of agree. Okay, so I'm not the only person. That's good. They definitely saved some budget for the climax. I mean, I hate to say that. Like, I don't like to perpetuate that idea of, you know, the budget equals the animation, but they definitely saved their efforts for the later episodes for sure. I've seen a lot of reaction videos and they looked quite shocked. I would suspect that if you're anime only, it would be a lot more shocking. The reason I bring this up is because when you get to certain character moments, like they're real tearjerkers. Like anything with Kohaku, anything with Suika, I was crying like a baby, right? And again, I've read the manga like 6 times. But the stuff with like characters getting killed off, I was like, whatever. I know what scene you're talking about for Hunter x Hunter. That scene also shocked me. How you doing, Justin? Yeah. And it's like, it's kind of unfair to compare that, but the reason I make that comparison is like this scene, this sequence of scenes is so much more intense. Like there's so much more going on. It's so much bloodier that you would think it at least meets that level of shock. And for me, I was like, I like the manga better. This is like the one time where I feel like the manga does this part of the story better. Every other core season, I'm like, oh, the anime is so much better. This was the one part where I was like, yeah, read the manga. That being said, the stuff with Suika, gorgeous. I think any minor complaint I have about this core, totally redeemed, totally made up for with the Suika stuff. They killed it. They nailed it. They did a fantastic job. I do think they're, and again, I'm super biased because I already know what happens, so it's kind of hard to shock me. But something about the Suika reveal in the last 2 episodes, that reveal with Senku, I was like, I feel like it could have been better. Then again, I think that's just my bias, having already seen it in the manga. Plus in the manga, like you turn the page and you see that reveal. So it's like a little more immediate. In the anime, it's not quite as in your face. But I think they did a good job with that, and they did a really good job adapting the stuff with Suika. So, arguably Dr. Stone's best season. Right up there with season 2, I would say. Season 2, in my mind, is probably the best season. I would really have to rewatch the whole show and be like, okay, which one do I like the most? But I think I would probably say I think by the end of it, it's going to end up being between season 4 and season 2, because season 2 was so good. I remember reading this arc during the manga. It was great. The weekly experience for this in the manga, people were losing their minds. This was like almost as talked about, it was practically as talked about as like the new chapters of like Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, My Hero. It was like right up there. This was the peak of Dr. Stone. So for all like sentimental fan reasons, this deserves all of the highest ratings. It deserves to be top rated. Am I going to binge Dr. Stone now that it's over for Core 2? I think I'll probably do that right before the next Core. I think I'll watch all 26, then 11, all like 50 something episodes, 60 something episodes right before the final Core. Season 2 Part 2 is the only season I scored a 10 out of 10. I would give this season, I'd give it like an 8 or a 9, only because the animation for the like first 6 episodes is so underwhelming, and I just don't like the opening. I think the opening sucks. When do we think we get another Dawn to Dawn name drop? I don't know. It's very all over the place at the moment, so it's kind of hard to make predictions. What anime do you think deserved a better adaptation? Radiant. I haven't watched the anime yet, but the manga is one of my favorites, and from what everyone has told me, the anime is incredibly mid. Season 2, I hear, is much better, but overall I hear it's like the most skippable anime adaptation there ever is. I'd give this one a 9. Yeah, I think a 9 is fair. I think it's somewhere between an 8 and a 9 for me. Yeah, Eden's, we're on the same frequency, 1000%. Speaking of which, if you didn't see it, the creator of Radiant, Tony Valente, just drew a limited edition volume cover or volume art for Dawn to Dawn. I think it's only for Italy, I think is what I saw. So all of you hardcore Dawn to Dawn / Radiant fans, you might want to hop on eBay and start getting your hands on some Italian Dawn to Dawn volumes. The other reason I'm like more inclined to give this season an 8 is because to my expert eye, this was like the first season in a very long time, basically in the whole history of the anime, where they really did not add that much anime original stuff, which shouldn't be a reason to hold it back. But considering that's something they have consistently done for every core of the anime, and they didn't really do it for this one, is kind of disappointing. The one scene that I think they added was at the very beginning of the core, where they show Zeno meeting Stanley. That, as far as I know, was not in the manga, and it's a really nice scene, and it adds a nice layer to their characters. Other than that, it was like bar for bar an adaptation of the manga, which is fine, but it adds to this feeling of like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it was Italian. The fact that it's only Italian volumes for that Radiant Dawn to Dawn thing feels weirdly random to me, like weirdly specific. I don't know why. Maybe there's an event going on in Italy. I don't know. But yeah, that's there's a solid chance I'm gonna be buying my very first Italian manga volume. There was actually a lot of anime original stuff, but smaller. Can you point out some examples? Because I definitely missed them. Promised Neverland is another good pick. The thing with Promised Neverland is like, even after just the season 1 stuff, there was already issues with the manga, so it's like that was doomed to piss people off either way. But yeah, that one too. You also got to throw Tokyo Revengers in the ring. So yeah, Dr. Stone is amazing. Expect a video in the next couple of weeks. I cannot wait to talk about Dr. Stone. I got to give it some love. Nobody else is going to do it. I got to do it as the Dr. Stone guy on YouTube. I got to talk about it. And that is 100% a scientific statement. Anybody in the Dr. Stone community knows nobody gives Dr. Stone more love on YouTube, at least, than me. And in its peak moment, and I say peak moment because I don't think the next core is going to top this. It's only fair that in its peak moment, I do a video dedicating Dr. Stone's generational run. And this is a generational run. I don't even think Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer has had a run like this for its anime. Let's look up, just for giggles. Excuse me. Let's see if I can't find episodes. Season 2. So, just to use Demon Slayer as an example, Demon Slayer, the episodes average like an 8. So, Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District arc, which is probably the best season of the anime, it had a similar run where the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes were 9.5 with 14,000 reviews, 9.4, 11, 9.4, 11, 9.6, 13, 9.7, 29. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not including the final episode. So yeah. Demon Slayer, way more reviews, but similar run. So this is putting Dr. Stone on par with Demon Slayer, which is crazy. That's never been the case. I want to see how it's doing on Crunchyroll. OG Dr. Stone was Gen 1 era. I should commission an artist to draw me as like an OG Autobot and put a caption like G1 OG. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that was truly the Gen 1 run of that was Silver Age OG. Bronze Age OG, if you will. Really? Dr. Stone? Oh, here we go. Dr. Stone is top 6 behind Gachi Akata, Dawn to Dawn, Kaiju, The Water Magician, which, what the hell is even that? My Dress Up Darling. So Dr. Stone, I suspect, will be top 5, top 4 in a few weeks. I could be wrong, but just the fact that it's in the top 10 is enough for me. The fact that it's above One Piece is enough for me. Way above Rent a Girlfriend, above Shield Hero, above Togen Anki. Excuse me. Way above Apothecary Diaries, way above To Be Hero X. So it's just gone through a generational run for sure. It was top 5 a couple of days ago. I suspect it'll go back up after this weekend because it just dropped a new episode. Obviously everyone's at work, right? So I think after the weekend it'll probably be top 4 or 5. I don't know what the hell the Water Magician is. I mean this respectfully. Is anyone watching The Water Magician? That is the first time I've ever heard of that series. Excuse me. Not hating on Demon Slayer is a daily struggle for me as an anime fan. I love Demon Slayer. I just think it's, you know, it's a little overrated. Rent a Girlfriend manga is on a generational run. Yeah, I gotta read the last like 10 chapters or so. I haven't read it since, you know, that chapter. I can only imagine where the story is. So glad I got into Dr. Stone 3 years ago. Otherwise, I would have missed peak. Dr. Stone really is peak. It's one of the best anime of all time, without a doubt. And this season has proved it. Excuse me. We got like 10-ish minutes left. For anyone in chat, what do we think about Panty and Stocking? I haven't seen the last 3 episodes. I'm slacking a bit. But for anyone who is caught up on Panty and Stocking or has been following it lately, what do we think about the ending? Again, no spoilers. I'm not talking about the episodes. I'm just talking about the season overall. How do we feel about the fact that possibly getting a season 3? They seem to have confirmed a new season, but I don't think. Let's go on Twitter and see if Trigger made a post about that. Because if they didn't make a post, then I'm not too sure how I feel. Yeah, they added a bunch of stuff in the first core of season 4, but this core not so much. Let's see if I can trigger. Here we go, Trigger Inc. They did not. Excuse me. I'm trying to see if... No, I don't think they officially confirmed. Oh, is this it? Oh. Let's see. Now, so Trigger seems to have avoided making any official announcement. Let's see. Panty. Here we go. New Panty and Stocking, the official page. No, I'm not seeing anything. Translate post. Yeah, so they have not officially confirmed whether they're going to do a new season or not. But the fact that they even said it in the episode is proof that they might do it. I think it's just going to come down to timing. And, you know, once they have the time to do it, whether they still feel like it's a worthwhile project, like if they're still having fun doing it. I think given how popular this season was, like this season was insanely popular. I don't think people understand. Like the fact that it was an Amazon Prime anime, it was an anime sequel to a show that came out over 10 years ago. A like very offensive, very problematic show in this day and age. It had a bunch of reasons to not do well, and it did insanely well. Obviously people have their issues with it, but that's any show, especially popular shows. I think it was awesome. I can't wait to watch the next like 3 episodes. I think it was better so far anyway. I think it's better than the first season. I think it's way better. So yeah, I can only say nice things. Well, I can mostly say nice things about Pantheon stalking right now. I've been too busy watching that Wolverine trailer. Yeah, the new Wolverine game looks really cool. It's just I'm not really crazy about single player games that seem like, you know, Game Awards bait, right? And that's what it kind of seems like to me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I still got to watch the original season. I've only seen clips, stalking. But stalking better is the only opinionated fact I can give. I would love to agree with you on that, but they do not do stalking enough justice. At least in the second season. The one prevalent problem I have with the show overall, but it's most prominent in this second season, is they treat stalking like a sidekick. Like they give her screen time, but they don't make the effort to dive into her character nearly as much as any of the other characters. Like she's basically on par with Brief, which is insane to say. I've no knowledge to back this claim. I just feel it. Look, man, we all love goth girls, so totally respected. I'm just telling you, there's a little more with the other characters going on. But I'm right there with you. That being said, I don't know, especially after this season, I feel like I like the Demon Sisters the most. I feel like they really get the best treatment. Again, the whole knee socks thing was weird, but I don't think it ruins their characters. Pantheon stalking last episode was my favorite episode this season, but don't take my word for it. I suspect I'll feel the same. As controversial, divisive, and problematic as it is, I liked what they did in the knee socks episode. If they could just take out that one statement about knee socks being 16, it's like such a random thing, and like it just didn't need to be in there. It didn't need to be there. All it did was piss people off. I don't think anybody appreciated it being in there. But if you just take that out, that's like a perfect episode. It took 2 characters who have the least interactions in the whole show, built a genuine bond between them in like, 7 minutes. And it fleshed out all of the other characters, except stalking, which again is just a bigger problem. Have you heard of Ananta? No, I have no idea what that is. Trigger doing it alone was a plus? Is that what they did? Well, I was confused about this one because they have a bit of a history with Netflix, a few years going now, and they weirdly decided to go with Amazon on this one. I don't know why. I would love to find out what happened with Netflix. This season made me miss the old voices. I get why you feel that way, but I think with the show that's like 10 years old, I think it was the right choice to give it new voices. I think it gave it a fresh coat of paint, so to speak, and it made it more inclusive to newer fans. But yeah, Panty and Stalking, Dr. Stone. What else did we have this season? I think that was it, right? Am I crazy? Dawn to Dawn, obviously. Gachi Akata is okay. I only watched the first few episodes. I'm gonna, I gotta work on videos. Uh-oh. I thought the stream ended for a second. I'm working on videos. I'm catching up to anime. As soon as I have a second, I'm gonna sit down and watch Gachi Akata because it looks good. It's just, I didn't really feel particularly compelled to follow it every week. And then yeah, it was weird. Like nobody talked about My Dress Up Darling. It was like very in the background. Sorry, that was my phone. You should rate the Trigger original anime for fun. So if you're talking about season 1, the Gainax season, I would probably give that like a 7 or 8. It's good, but it's like so silly and like they don't really do enough with the characters. It's like, it's a weird, they strike a good balance between like, very like episode of the week plot lines and like still giving substance to the characters while also being complete nonsense. But I think they found a way better balance in this season. The Silent Witch is a big hidden gem. I don't think I've heard of that one, which would prove your point. Core 2 is when it'll really pop off, but Core 1 has been a really good adaptation so far. Okay, that is good to hear. Yeah, that's the nice thing about this fall season. This fall season is very unpredictable. I don't know what's going to be good, what's going to be, kind of mid. But we still have Gachi Akata, so if nothing else, you can watch Gachi Akata. Do you like Gigi or Kenta more in Dawn to Dawn? Pre-Donmara arc, I would have said Gigi, but as of now, I would honestly say it's 50-50 for me. They do very different things in the story, but I like them equally. If you had asked me that a year ago, I probably would have said Kenta just because of the issues with Gigi and what Tatsu was doing with him, but especially after the new chapters, I'd say it's like 50-50. Silent Witch is very underrated. I also think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I would say Fragrant Flower is probably underrated. I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it. I think it went under the radar for, Netflix reasons. But we'll see. Now that the season is over, we'll see if people start coming out like, oh my god, this show is awesome. I'm kind of disappointed we haven't heard anything about Shangri-La Frontier. I was trying to find that out today. So last March, which is when season 2 ended, I think, we found out that Shangri-La Frontier season 3 was in production. But I don't think we've heard anything else. Yeah, I think it's just... I would love for it to come out right now, but I think the fact that October is a week away. I don't think that's going to happen. Do you think Tatsu will write a musical theater arc in Dandadan? That would be cool. I don't know what the odds of that are. Fragrant Flowers got done dirty with Netflix jail, but it's been getting talked about on YouTube from what I've seen and been ranking high in those weekly episodes I see get posted on Twitter. Yeah, anime seasons typically, you don't really see who the winners and losers are until the end of the season. People really don't get into anime in like those first couple of weeks. People will like usually watch the first episode and then like drop it and wait to binge it. So like between like the first couple of weeks and then the very end of the season, it's like radio silence. Who's your current favorite protagonist? Jesus. That's a toughie. I don't know. Out of the new stuff, maybe Ichi from Ichi the Witch. I like Okarun and Momo. I don't know if they're my favorite protagonists, but Rudo is good. He's not my favorite. The Galaxius characters are good. They're not my favorite. Luffy is good. He's not my favorite. Yeah. Netflix is going to crush Crunchyroll within the next 2 years. I don't think Crunchyroll is going away, at least not anytime soon. Crunchyroll is already cross-sharing with Amazon. If you use Amazon Prime, you can get a Netflix subscription through Amazon Prime. So I think that was kind of two birds, one stone. I also had no idea they were doing that. That came out of nowhere. But that's two birds, one stone, because Crunchyroll, it's owned by Sony, but like, you know, it had a distribution problem because like, how do you beat Netflix? And then Amazon for the longest time has been trying to enter the anime original market and has just been getting slaughtered by other companies. So yeah, two birds, one stone. Amazon has Crunchyroll now, and now Crunchyroll has access to all the Amazon users. Crunchyroll has been available on YouTube TV, but YouTube TV is only just getting popular. I think it's going to be a while, like at least a couple of years before YouTube TV is like a top contender. I struggle between Rudo and Zonka some days. I like Zonka. He's not my favorite, but he's a good character. I don't know. If you put a gun to my head, I don't know who I would pick for Gachi Akata. Because there's so many good characters in that series. Before we close out the stream, because it's about that time, I do just want to see how Dawn to Dawn is comparing to Chainsaw Man. Because Dawn to Dawn had a viral chapter, and Chainsaw Man doesn't really get that talked about, and somehow people are reading Chainsaw Man more than Dawn to Dawn. So let's see. Manga Plus. Yeah, Chainsaw Man is still way ahead. It's safely ahead of Boruto, and Boruto has been getting a lot of traction with fans lately. Dawn to Dawn still fairly behind. Let's see how the Jump site looks. So that was Manga Plus. Let's look at Viz. Go to Shonen Jump. It's right behind Chainsaw Man, which is crazy. Chainsaw Man is like kind of a sleeper series right now, which is so weird to say. But I feel like only Chainsaw Man fans talk about it, but it's consistently like one of the most read manga every week. Like even Dawn to Dawn. Dawn to Dawn just had a viral chapter reaction and is still behind Chainsaw Man. So it's like, I just don't think Dawn to Dawn is ever going to top Chainsaw Man in terms of manga popularity. I think anime is a totally different conversation, but in terms of manga popularity, Chainsaw Man's got it beat. On that note, that's going to be it for today's stream. Look out for hopefully 2 videos this weekend. It might just be 1 video, but there will be at least 1 video this weekend. Videos next week as well as we transition into the next month. Monday will be Dawn to Dawn, right? There's no... I thought for a second Dawn to Dawn was on break. That would have been brutal if Tatsu dropped that cliffhanger from last chapter and then he's like, oh yeah, we're going to be on break for like a month. Which he has done before. But yeah, Dawn to Dawn Monday. Videos this weekend. Check out Dr. Stone. Check out Pantheon Stalking. And